I know you've been working hard on Planet of the Apps. I know you've got some celebrity mentors lined up. How's it going so far, and what's it been like working with Apple?
It's been great. They're an incredible partner and co-producer of the show, and it's a thrilling opportunity to be partnered up with them. I have a long experience with Apple, having produced The Office, which was one of the original shows that really helped in the rollout of iTunes and their store. So a great long relationship with Eddie Q and now Jimmy Iovine and Robert Kondrick, who work there, incredible partners, and it's thrilling. And obviously our all-star Mount Rushmore cast is particularly exciting and something I'm so thrilled to be working on.
Mount Rushmore cast, I know you want this show to be different than anything that's come before, so how do you expect to make it different from, let's say, Shark Tank or The Voice or anything else that's on television?
Well, I'm not able to reveal much about our format right now to the public at large, but I will say I don't think there's a show on television with a lineup of such accomplished entrepreneurs as we have with Jessica and Gwyneth and will.i.am and Gary, who come from an entertainment world, but with a real perspective on how not only technology works and app development works, but also how to build a business. I mean, you look at the valuations associated with what Jessica has created and is potentially, selling to Unilever, and you look at what Gary's accomplished from basically being the first YouTube star, drinking wine to push product for his dad's liquor shop and wine store in New Jersey. And you look at what will.i.am has done in promoting content through devices and pushing out partnerships like the ones he's had with Beats and Apple previously. And then Goop, Gwyneth's company, is really on fire, and she's building something brick by brick. So I'm particularly excited about the combination of talent we have, and Apple as a partner is extraordinary. I think one of the reasons we were able to attract that talent is because we are in business with Apple and because they are our partner. I'm sure everybody wanted those ladies and gentlemen on their shows, and I think we got them on our show because Apple is our partner.
Well, we're really looking forward to it. You also have a number of other different projects going on right now, and I'm curious, where do you see the future of content going with the rise of so many new distribution platforms, having been on the front of the iTunes revolution with The Office?
Well, I think that clearly, the first thing we all need is an updated TV guide. I took my mom and 6 of her girlfriends out last night, and I won't reveal the median age, but I'll just say there was a 7 in front of it. And the first request they had for me in my panel in preparation for our interview, Emily, was, I can't figure out where anything is and what channels am I on and where do I go? So the organizing principle of the new content ecosystem needs to happen, and that's going to help it a great deal as it accelerates. But I think what we're also seeing is so many people differentiating their offerings through content, and the fact that the internet has developed at such an extraordinary pace, but has also become a media platform. And as it becomes a media platform, more and more players need to use video to differentiate across it. And that's great for people like me who create and produce shows at a premium level. I mean, you're seeing content initiatives from Verizon to Comcast on the kind of pipe delivery side, but also how they do it to the news that I watched on air as you were prepping around Twitter's potential, sale to somebody, and that somebody could even be Disney. So I just think it's an amazing time to be a show creator and producer and storyteller, because there's so many players looking for those great stories to be told on their platforms and differentiated. And I think it's a great time to be a consumer, because you have so much choice as to what you want to watch and where you can watch it and how you watch it.
You have a new movie out, Hands of Stone, and if content is king, what kind of content is really running the kingdom? Is it movies? Is it TV? Is it digital?
Well, I heard something pretty interesting today. Movies on television had become commoditized and were almost the lowest rated option you could have as you look to put something on air. You would traditionally, if you remember It's a Wonderful Life airing on Thanksgiving all the time, would deliver a huge rating. Or you would air Exodus around Easter and get a huge rating. But there was a real lag as movies became available everywhere. But now you're seeing movies even rate again on television because people recognize them and they can watch a scene or two that they responded to. I know the Turner Networks just bought the Star Wars, and I believe that did well for them, which wouldn't have been a deal they would have been excited about maybe just 5 years ago. And I think it also relates to the fact that the reruns are going down in ratings, but also it only takes you to watch 6 minutes of the show for the rating to count. And I think with a movie, you see the scene you like or that moment in the show that you recognize the actor and it brings you a warm, fuzzy feeling. And you may watch 6 minutes and then go to the show that you really cared about. Because to me, TV is still the best platform, the best medium, and the best storytelling around. But this specific story of Roberto Duran in Hands of Stone was one that really required a theatrical motion picture to tell it.
On that note, you've got a new show coming out on the CW called No Tomorrow. You've got Jane the Virgin. How do you personally decide where you put your chips on the table? How do you decide where to make your bets when it comes to TV and movies and digital?
Well, I do think that a lot of the networks are becoming brands in this new age of transformation as we are looking towards the precursor of what will be over-the-top delivery. I think that everyone kind of thinks is inevitable. The channels themselves have to become brands as they look at how they're going to be delivered in the future, not just the shows, which was the kind of flavor of the interim period of the past. And so I look at the partnership I built with and for Mark Pedowitz and the CW, and I think about the fact that they're building this really cool brand, the brand of their past with young women and shows like Jane the Virgin and No Tomorrow, obviously building on that, but also the brand that they've built with the genre pieces like Flash and Supergirl. And I think Supergirl moving from CBS to CW is a really interesting play by them because it's almost a synthesis of the two audiences watching the CW. And they're a great partner. And they've been a great partner. And CBS, the studio that I work with to supply the CW, has been a great partner too. And so that made me want to go back for more. And you know what? They asked. They called me up and said, do you have more shows for us? And even that in my business is rare.
So President Obama himself recently appeared on one of your shows, Bear Grylls, which is a survival reality show. And I'm curious, how did you convince the commander-in-chief to appear on this show? What was it like working with him? And what is the significance of an appearance like this?
Well, just in all fairness, I wish I had called the president and said, hey, do you mind appearing on my show? But I have had a great partnership with the White House from when I created Biggest Loser, and Michelle Obama partnered on that to get her whole movement platform across and to help get people, healthier. And one of the things that I've loved about Obama's second term is he's really dived into the environmental catastrophe that potentially is looming. To me, climate change is very real. And the president reached out to us through his office because he wanted to work with Bear Grylls to really talk about climate change and to really kick off what he's been doing in terms of aggressively putting in policies that can help secure our future before Elon, in the piece before us, makes us all move to Mars because we can't breathe our air. But I love the power of content and TV to move behavior. And I think that's why the president partnered on Bear Grylls.